Have you ever felt like your emotions are pulling you in every direction, like waves crashing in a storm? One moment, you're riding the highs of joy, and the next, you're caught in the riptide of anger or sadness. It's something we all experience, yet few of us truly know how to navigate. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, some gentle, others fierce. You can't control the sea, but you can learn to sail through it with skill. This is the essence of managing emotions, and it's a lesson we can learn from the timeless teachings of Buddhism. Gautama Buddha once said that emotions are like winds. We can't stop them from blowing, but we can adjust our sails to move forward with grace. These teachings provide us with a map to navigate the highs and lows of our emotional world. Today, let's dive into 10 transformative habits inspired by Buddhism that can help us find balance, resilience, and emotional well-being. Grab your favorite drink, settle into a cozy spot, and let's explore these life-changing practices together. Habit 1. Practice mindfulness. Imagine this. You are sitting beneath the shade of a grand Bodhi tree. The sunlight filters softly through its leaves, casting delicate patterns on the ground. A gentle breeze caresses your skin, and all you hear is the rustling of the leaves and the rhythm of your own breath. Your mind feels like a calm pond, still, reflective, undisturbed by the ripples of chaotic thoughts or the weight of your past. In that moment, you are fully present. You're not worrying about the mistakes of yesterday or the uncertainties of tomorrow. This state of being, this profound sense of presence, is mindfulness, the foundation of emotional well-being and a key teaching in Buddhism. Mindfulness is not just a practice, it is a way of living. At its heart, mindfulness means being fully aware of what is happening within and around you without judgment or distraction. It's the art of paying deliberate attention to each moment as it unfolds, with an open and accepting heart. In today's world, where we're often caught in the rush of responsibilities and bombarded with information, mindfulness acts as a refuge, a space to pause and reconnect with ourselves. But why is mindfulness so essential for emotional well-being? The truth is, our minds have a habit of wandering. Research suggests that the average person spends nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. This constant mental chatter pulls us away from the present moment, trapping us in cycles of rumination and worry. And when we dwell on the past or fear the future, our emotions become unsteady, like a boat caught in a storm. Mindfulness is the anchor that steadies that boat. It allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. Instead of reacting impulsively to stress, anger, or fear, mindfulness teaches us to pause, to breathe, and to respond with clarity and compassion. It's like gaining the ability to step back and watch the storm from a safe distance instead of being caught in its fury. Science has backed up what the Buddha taught thousands of years ago. Numerous studies have shown that mindfulness reduces stress, improves focus, and enhances emotional regulation. When we practice mindfulness, we cultivate resilience, the ability to face life's challenges with a sense of calm and balance. We break free from the cycle of overthinking and begin to experience life as it truly is, moment by moment. So, how can we begin incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives? It doesn't require hours of meditation or a dramatic lifestyle change. Start small. Carve out just 5 minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. As you inhale, notice the sensation of air filling your lungs. As you exhale, let go of any tension you might be holding. If your mind begins to wander, and it will, gently guide your attention back to your breath. There's no need to judge yourself. Mindfulness is about noticing, not achieving perfection. Beyond meditation, mindfulness can be woven into the fabric of your everyday routine. When you drink your morning coffee or tea, take a moment to savor the aroma, the warmth of the cup in your hands, the rich taste on your tongue. When you're walking, notice the feeling of your feet touching the ground, the sounds of nature or city life around you, the rhythm of your steps. Even simple tasks like washing the dishes can become opportunities for mindfulness. Feel the warmth of the water, the texture of the soap, the satisfaction of cleaning. Mindfulness is also about becoming more aware of your emotions. When you feel anger, sadness, or joy, take a moment to acknowledge it. Instead of suppressing or judging your feelings, try observing them with curiosity. Ask yourself, what does this emotion feel like in my body? Where do I feel it most strongly? What might this emotion be trying to tell me? By approaching your emotions with mindfulness, you create a space for understanding and healing. Remember, mindfulness isn't about emptying your mind or avoiding challenges. It's about facing life as it is, with all its messiness and beauty, and finding peace in the midst of it. The Buddha often compared mindfulness to holding a lamp in a dark room. It illuminates everything around us, helping us see clearly and navigate with wisdom. As you practice mindfulness, you'll begin to notice subtle but profound changes. You might find yourself feeling more grounded, less reactive, and more appreciative of life's simple pleasures. Over time, mindfulness becomes a habit, a way of approaching each moment with openness and presence. So today, take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. Let it out slowly. In this simple act, you are practicing mindfulness. In this moment, you are present. And in this presence, you can begin to find peace. Habit 2, cultivate gratitude. Imagine you're walking through a bustling street. The air hums with the sounds of life, children laughing, a soft breeze brushing against your face, the golden glow of the sun setting in the distance. For a brief moment, you pause, look around, and realize there's so much to be thankful for. The warmth of a smile, the kindness of a stranger, the fact that you are alive and breathing. That moment of realization is gratitude, and it has the power to shift the way you see the world. Gratitude is not just a polite thank you we say out of habit. In Buddhism, it is a deeply transformative practice, a way of seeing and appreciating the interconnectedness of life. It is the golden thread that weaves together the ordinary and extraordinary moments of our existence, reminding us of the abundance that surrounds us, even in the midst of challenges. When we cultivate gratitude, we train our minds to focus on what we have rather than what we lack. And in that shift, we discover a profound sense of contentment and joy. Why is gratitude so powerful for emotional well-being? The answer lies in how our minds work. Left unchecked, our thoughts often spiral into complaints or worries, always seeking more, always finding fault. Gratitude disrupts this cycle. It's like redirecting the flow of a river. Suddenly, instead of rushing toward dissatisfaction, your thoughts begin to flow toward appreciation. This shift doesn't just make you feel good in the moment, it rewires your brain over time, creating new pathways for joy and positivity. Start with something simple. Keep a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand. Perhaps it's the taste of your morning coffee, the sound of birds outside your window, or a kind word from a colleague. Over time, this practice trains your brain to notice the good in your life, even on difficult days. Another powerful practice is gratitude meditation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and bring to mind something or someone you are grateful for. It could be a friend, a mentor, or even a memory that makes your heart swell with warmth. Let the feeling of gratitude fill your chest, like a glowing light spreading through your entire body. Notice how your breathing slows, your mind quiets, and your heart softens. Gratitude is not just about the big things. It's about finding wonder in the small, everyday moments. The soft rustle of leaves, the comfort of a warm blanket, the laughter of a loved one. When we open our eyes to these blessings, life feels richer, fuller, more connected. And in that fullness, we find a wellspring of emotional balance and well-being. So today, pause. Look around. What are 3 things you can be grateful for in this moment? Let those thoughts settle in your heart like a warm embrace. This is the practice of gratitude, a simple yet profound habit that can transform the way you experience the world. Habit 3, embrace compassion. Picture this, a small child falls and scrapes their knee. Before they can even cry, someone rushes to their side, soothing them with a gentle touch and soft words. That instinct to comfort, to ease someone else's pain, is compassion. It's one of the most powerful emotions we possess, and it's at the very heart of Buddhist teachings. Compassion is more than feeling sorry for someone. It's the deep, heartfelt desire to alleviate suffering, not just for others, but for ourselves as well. In Buddhism, compassion is seen as a boundless reservoir of kindness, one that extends to every living being, no matter who they are or what they've done. It's a recognition that we are all connected, all part of the same human experience, and that every person's pain is a reflection of our own. Why is compassion so crucial for emotional well-being? When we act with compassion, we transcend the narrow confines of our own worries and open ourselves to the shared humanity of others. Studies have shown that practicing compassion activates the brain's reward centers, releasing feel-good chemicals that boost our mood and reduce stress. In other words, when we care for others, we heal ourselves. But compassion isn't always easy. It's natural to feel anger, frustration, or judgment, especially when someone has hurt us. This is where Buddhist teachings offer guidance. One powerful practice is loving kindness meditation, or metta meditation. Start by sitting quietly and repeating these phrases to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering. Then extend those wishes to others, first to someone you love, then to a neutral person, and finally to someone you find difficult. This practice may feel challenging at first, but over time, it softens your heart and nurtures a sense of universal goodwill. Compassion also begins with yourself. Often we are our own harshest critics, holding on to guilt, shame, or self-judgment. But Buddhism reminds us that self-compassion is not selfish. It is the foundation of all compassion. When you treat yourself with kindness and understanding, you build the emotional resilience needed to extend that same kindness to others. You can also cultivate compassion through small, everyday acts of kindness. Smile at a stranger. Offer a helping hand to a colleague. Listen deeply when a friend shares their struggles. These moments may seem small, but they create ripples that can transform not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Compassion doesn't mean fixing every problem or shouldering every burden. It's about showing up with an open heart, offering what you can, and trusting that even the smallest acts of kindness make a difference. So let's take a moment today to practice compassion for ourselves, for those we love, and for the world around us. Imagine the healing and connection we could create if every one of us chose kindness. Habit 4, let go of attachments. Picture this. You're holding a delicate flower in your hand, marveling at its vibrant petals and intoxicating fragrance. For a moment, it feels perfect, beautiful, serene, complete. But as you grip it tighter, trying to preserve its beauty forever, the petals begin to wither and the flower loses its charm. This is the paradox of attachment. The more we cling, the more we suffer. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence teaches us that everything in life is transient. People, possessions, experiences, they all rise and fall like the ebb and flow of the tides. Yet we often resist this truth, holding on to what we fear losing or chasing after what we think will make us happy. This attachment, this refusal to let go, becomes the root of much of our emotional pain. Why is letting go of attachments so essential for emotional well-being? Imagine you're carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents something you're attached to, a relationship, a material possession, a goal, or even an idea of how life should be. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable, yet you keep carrying it because you're afraid to put it down. Letting go of attachments is like setting down that backpack. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you free yourself from the burden of trying to control what is ultimately uncontrollable. Buddhism doesn't ask us to renounce joy or relationships. Instead, it encourages us to embrace them without clinging. Love deeply, but understand that people and experiences are impermanent. Enjoy what you have, but recognize that material things are fleeting. This perspective doesn't diminish life's beauty, it enhances it. When we let go of the need to hold on, we can fully appreciate the present moment for what it is. So how can we practice letting go in our daily lives? Start by cultivating mindfulness. When you notice yourself becoming overly attached to something, a person, a desire, an outcome, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, am I clinging to this out of fear or insecurity? What would it feel like to let this go? This awareness is the first step toward freedom. Another powerful practice is reflecting on impermanence. Spend time observing the natural world, the changing seasons, the cycle of life and death, the way the sky shifts from dawn to dusk. Let these observations remind you that change is not something to fear, but something to accept. Gratitude can also help loosen the grip of attachment. Instead of focusing on what you might lose, Take time each day to appreciate what you have in the present. By shifting your focus from scarcity to abundance, you create space for contentment and peace. Letting go is not about detachment or indifference. It's about embracing life with open hands instead of clenched fists. When you let go, you don't lose anything. You gain freedom. So today, reflect on one thing you've been clinging to. What would it feel like to release it? To trust that life will unfold as it's meant to. This is the path to emotional well-being and inner peace. Habit 5. Forgive yourself and others. Imagine carrying a heavy chain around your neck, each link forged from past hurts, grudges, and unresolved anger. Day by day, the chain grows heavier, weighing you down, sapping your energy, and clouding your joy. Forgiveness is the act of breaking that chain. It's not about excusing someone's behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the prison of resentment and pain. In Buddhism, forgiveness is seen as an act of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. It's a recognition that holding on to anger or hurt only prolongs suffering. When we forgive, we let go of the poison that corrodes our hearts and minds, creating space for healing and peace. But why is forgiveness so transformative? When we're hurt, it's natural to feel angry or betrayed. These emotions are valid and deserve to be acknowledged. However, when we cling to them, they begin to control us. Resentment becomes a barrier that separates us from others and from our own well-being. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harm. It means refusing to let past wounds dictate your present and future. Forgiveness also extends to yourself. How often do we replay our own mistakes, criticizing ourselves for what we did or didn't do? This self-judgment can be just as damaging as holding a grudge against someone else. Buddhism teaches that self-forgiveness is an essential part of emotional well-being. It's about recognizing your humanity, acknowledging your imperfections, and offering yourself the same kindness you would give to a friend. So how can we practice forgiveness in our daily lives? One powerful method is loving kindness meditation. Sit quietly and bring to mind someone who has hurt you or someone you have hurt. As you visualize this person, silently repeat phrases like, "May you be free from suffering. May you find peace. May you be happy." At first, this practice might feel forced or even impossible, but over time, it softens your heart and opens the door to true forgiveness. Empathy is another key to forgiveness. Take a moment to consider the perspective of the person who hurt you. What might they have been going through? What fears or insecurities drove their actions? This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps you see them as a flawed human being, just like you. Finally, remember that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It may take weeks, months, or even years to fully let go of certain hurts. Be patient with yourself. Each small step you take toward forgiveness is a victory, a release, a breath of fresh air for your soul. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to others. It's a gift you give to yourself. It's the act of breaking free from the chains of anger and resentment, creating space for love, compassion, and healing. So today, think of one grudge you've been holding on to. What would it feel like to release it? To let it float away like a leaf on a stream? This is the path to liberation and emotional well-being. Habit 6. Practice generosity. Imagine this. You're walking down a crowded street and notice a person sitting on the sidewalk, their eyes downcast, their hands trembling as they clutch a small cup. You hesitate for a moment, then reach into your pocket to offer them some coins. The look of gratitude in their eyes warms you from the inside out. It's not the amount you gave that matters. It's the act itself, a moment of connection between two people. This is the power of generosity. In Buddhism, generosity, or dana, is considered one of the highest virtues. But it's not just about giving material things. True generosity comes from the heart, a selfless act that transcends ego and connects us to something greater. It's the ability to give without expecting anything in return, to share your time, energy, or kindness simply because you can. Why is generosity so transformative for emotional well-being? At its core, generosity shifts our focus outward. When we give, we momentarily step outside our own worries and immerse ourselves in the act of caring for someone else. This creates a ripple effect. Not only does it brighten someone else's day, but it also nourishes our own sense of purpose and connection. Studies have shown that acts of generosity activate the brain's reward centers, boosting happiness and even reducing stress and anxiety. But generosity isn't limited to grand gestures or large donations. It thrives in the small, everyday moments of kindness. A smile to a stranger, a supportive word to a friend, an afternoon spent helping a neighbor. These seemingly simple acts carry profound meaning because they remind us that we're all interconnected. So how can we practice generosity in our daily lives? Start with your time. Offer to help a friend with a project, or simply sit and listen when someone needs to talk. Your undivided attention can be the most precious gift of all. Or consider volunteering at a local shelter, teaching someone a skill, or offering support to a cause you care about. You can also practice generosity through random acts of kindness. Pay for someone's coffee in line behind you. Write a heartfelt note to a loved one. Donate clothes you no longer wear to someone in need. Each act, no matter how small, creates a ripple of positivity that spreads far beyond what you can see. And don't forget to practice generosity with yourself. Give yourself the gift of rest, forgiveness, and self-compassion. You can't pour from an empty cup, and nurturing your own well-being allows you to give more freely to others. Generosity is not just about what you give, it's about how you give. When you offer from a place of love and abundance, you create a space for connection and joy, not just for others, but for yourself as well. So today, ask yourself, how can I give, even in the smallest way? The answer might just transform your day and someone else's. Habit 7, foster mindful communication. Words are powerful. They can build bridges or burn them, heal wounds or deepen them. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling misunderstood? Or worse, having hurt someone unintentionally? Communication is a cornerstone of our relationships, yet it's something many of us navigate on autopilot. Buddhism teaches us that mindful communication is not just a skill, but a sacred practice, one that nurtures understanding, empathy, and connection. Mindful communication begins with two simple principles: speak with intention and listen with presence. These principles are rooted in the Buddhist teachings of right speech, one of the steps on the Noble Eightfold Path. Right speech encourages us to ask ourselves, are my words true? Are they kind? Are they necessary? When we pause to reflect before we speak, we create space for clarity and compassion to guide our words. Listening, too, is an essential part of mindful communication. Think about the last time someone truly listened to you, not just waiting for their turn to speak, but fully present, hearing not just your words, but the emotions behind them. It felt validating, didn't it? Mindful listening is a gift we can give to others, and it starts by putting aside distractions and focusing completely on the person in front of us. Why is mindful communication so important for emotional well-being? At its heart, communication is how we connect. When done mindlessly, it can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and distance. But when done mindfully, it becomes a powerful tool for building trust, resolving conflicts, and deepening our relationships. Research has shown that clear, empathetic communication reduces stress and strengthens emotional bonds, creating a foundation of support and understanding. So how can we practice mindful communication? Start by practicing active listening. The next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to interrupt or plan your response while the other person is speaking. Instead, focus fully on their words, their tone, and their body language. Ask questions to clarify and repeat back what you've heard to ensure understanding. When it's your turn to speak, choose your words carefully. Speak from a place of kindness and authenticity, avoiding blame or judgment. If emotions are running high, take a moment to breathe before responding. This pause can make the difference between reacting impulsively and responding thoughtfully. Another powerful practice is nonviolent communication, which encourages us to express our feelings and needs without criticism or defensiveness. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try saying, "I feel unheard when I'm interrupted. Can we try giving each other more space to speak?" This approach fosters understanding rather than conflict. Mindful communication also extends to how we talk to ourselves. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Are your thoughts self-critical or supportive? Just as you would speak kindly to a loved one, practice speaking kindly to yourself. This inner kindness lays the foundation for kinder communication with others. In a world filled with noise, mindful communication is a way to create meaningful connections. It's about slowing down, being present, and speaking and listening with intention. So today, in your next conversation, pause, breathe, choose your words with care, and listen with your whole heart. You might be surprised at how much deeper and more fulfilling your interactions become. Habit 8. Prioritize self-care. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this scene. You're standing on the edge of a serene forest. The air is crisp, the scent of pine lingering in the breeze. Sunlight filters through the tall trees, casting golden patches on the soft earth beneath your feet. You take a deep breath and a wave of calm washes over you. This moment, this pause, is a reminder of the importance of nurturing yourself. Not just your body, but your mind and spirit as well. In Buddhism, self-care is not a luxury or an indulgence, it's a sacred responsibility. Rooted in the principle of loving kindness, self-care is the recognition that your well-being is as important as anyone else's. When we neglect ourselves, we deplete the energy we need to show up fully for others and for life. But when we care for ourselves with mindfulness and compassion, we create a foundation of resilience, balance, and emotional well-being. Why is self-care essential? Imagine trying to pour water from an empty pitcher. It's impossible. Similarly, when you're running on empty, it's hard to meet life's demands or support the people you love. Self-care replenishes your inner reserves, giving you the strength and clarity to face challenges with grace. It's not selfish. It's an act of love that benefits both you and those around you. So, what does self-care look like in practice? Start with meditation, one of the most transformative tools in Buddhism. Take 5 or 10 minutes each day to sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let your mind settle. This simple practice helps you connect with the present moment, quiet your thoughts, and cultivate inner peace. Over time, meditation becomes a refuge, a space where you can return to yourself amidst the chaos of daily life. Another aspect of self-care is physical well-being. Engage in activities that nourish your body and uplift your spirit, whether it's yoga, walking in nature, or dancing to your favorite music. Pay attention to what you eat, choosing foods that energize and sustain you. And don't underestimate the power of rest. Give yourself permission to step back, recharge, and simply be. But self-care isn't just about actions, it's also about mindset. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a dear friend. When you make a mistake, resist the urge to criticize yourself harshly. Instead, remind yourself that imperfection is part of being human. Speak to yourself with encouragement and understanding, and you'll find that your inner critic softens over time. Finally, prioritize joy. Seek out activities and experiences that light you up, whether it's spending time with loved ones, exploring a creative hobby, or simply savoring a quiet moment with a cup of tea. Joy is not frivolous, it's essential. It reminds us of life's beauty and gives us the strength to face its challenges. So today, ask yourself, what can I do to nurture myself? Whether it's taking a walk, setting boundaries, or simply breathing deeply for a few moments, know that every act of self-care is an investment in your well-being. And as you care for yourself, you'll find that you have more to give to your loved ones, to your community, and to the world. Habit 9. Embrace imperfection. Picture this. You're walking through a peaceful garden where delicate cherry blossoms flutter gently to the ground. Some petals are vibrant, others slightly wilted. The branches of the trees are uneven, marked with scars from storms and time. And yet the garden feels alive, beautiful, and complete, not despite its imperfections, but because of them. This is the essence of wabi-sabi, a concept deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy that invites us to find beauty in imperfection. It's a reminder that life is not about striving for flawless perfection, but embracing the raw, unpolished reality of what is. In a world that often demands perfection, perfect bodies, perfect careers, perfect relationships, this teaching offers a breath of fresh air, a path to self-acceptance and peace. Why is embracing imperfection so important for emotional well-being? Perfectionism is like a never-ending race with no finish line. No matter how much you achieve, it always demands more, leaving you feeling inadequate and exhausted. When we cling to perfection, we reject the reality of who we are, flaws and all. But when we embrace imperfection, we open the door to authenticity, connection, and growth. In Buddhism, imperfection is not seen as a flaw but as a reflection of life's impermanence and interconnectedness. Just as no two snowflakes are identical, no person or experience is without its unique quirks and scars. These imperfections tell a story of resilience, of learning, of being human. So how can we practice embracing imperfection? Start by cultivating self-awareness. Pay attention to the moments when you feel the pressure to be perfect. Is it when you're at work, trying to meet every expectation? Is it in your relationships, fearing that your flaws make you unworthy of love? Notice these patterns without judgment and remind yourself that imperfection is not failure, it's humanity. Next, practice self-compassion. When you stumble or fall short of your expectations, resist the urge to criticize yourself harshly. Instead, speak to yourself as you would to a friend. It's okay, you're doing your best, and that's enough. This shift in perspective allows you to view mistakes not as evidence of inadequacy, but as opportunities for growth and learning. Another way to embrace imperfection is by celebrating it. Think of the things in your life that are beautifully imperfect: a chipped mug that holds your favorite tea, a handwritten note with crossed-out words, a scar that reminds you of a moment of courage. These imperfections carry meaning and depth, making them more valuable than something pristine and untouched. Finally, let go of the need for external validation. Perfectionism often stems from a desire to be admired or accepted by others, but true acceptance comes from within. When you stop seeking approval and start embracing yourself as you are, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of trying to measure up. Imagine how liberating it would feel to stop hiding your flaws, to stop pretending you have it all together, to show up in the world, messy and real, and say, "This is me, and that's enough." This is the gift of embracing imperfection, a gift that allows you to live more authentically, connect more deeply, and find peace in being exactly who you are. So today, take a deep breath. Let go of the need to be perfect. Look at yourself, not as a collection of flaws to fix, but as a masterpiece in progress. This is the practice of embracing imperfection, a path to self-acceptance and emotional freedom. Habit 10. Cultivate equanimity. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, their rhythm both calming and unpredictable. One moment, the sea is tranquil and reflective, and the next, it is wild and turbulent. Yet no matter how fierce the storm or serene the calm, you remain steady, watching from the shore. This steadiness, this unshakable sense of balance, is equanimity, a state of emotional equilibrium that Buddhism teaches us to cultivate. Equanimity is not indifference. It's not about shutting out emotions or becoming numb to life's highs and lows. Instead, it is the ability to embrace life as it is, joys, sorrows, triumphs, and challenges, without clinging to the good or resisting the bad. It's about finding a calm center within yourself, a place of peace that remains undisturbed no matter what is happening around you. Why is equanimity so essential for emotional well-being? Life is inherently unpredictable. We can't control the waves of change, loss, or uncertainty that come our way. What we can control is how we respond to them. Without equanimity, we're like a boat tossed around by the ocean, at the mercy of every wave. But with equanimity, we become like an anchored ship, stable, resilient, and capable of navigating even the roughest waters. Equanimity also frees us from the cycle of reactivity. When we're overly attached to pleasure or overly averse to pain, we suffer. We chase after fleeting happiness and push away discomfort, creating endless emotional turbulence. Equanimity teaches us to let go of this tug-of-war and accept life's impermanence with grace. So how can we cultivate equanimity in our daily lives? The first step is mindfulness meditation, which helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. As thoughts arise, whether they're joyful or troubling, notice them, acknowledge them, and let them pass, like clouds drifting across the sky. This practice trains your mind to stay present and steady, even in the face of emotional storms. Another way to develop equanimity is through the practice of acceptance. Life is filled with ups and downs, many of which are beyond our control. Instead of resisting these realities, try to approach them with curiosity and openness. For example, if you experience a setback, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" By shifting your perspective, you create space for growth and resilience. Gratitude can also play a role in cultivating equanimity. When you focus on the blessings in your life, even amidst challenges, you ground yourself in a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means finding balance by acknowledging both the good and the bad. Another key practice is loving kindness meditation, which helps you develop compassion for yourself and others. Repeat phrases like, "May I be peaceful," "May I accept life as it is," "May I find balance in all things." Extend these wishes to others, including those you struggle to understand. By cultivating compassion, you soften the edges of emotional extremes and foster a sense of interconnectedness. Equanimity also requires perspective. Remind yourself that everything in life is temporary, both the good and the bad. Just as a storm eventually gives way to clear skies, difficult emotions and circumstances will pass. This awareness doesn't negate your feelings. It helps you hold them lightly, knowing they're part of a larger, ever-changing picture. It's important to remember that equanimity is not something you achieve overnight. It's a practice, a mindset that deepens with time and effort. There will be moments when you feel unsteady, when life's waves crash harder than you expected. In those moments, be gentle with yourself. Equanimity isn't about being perfect. It's about coming back to your center again and again. So, how can you start cultivating equanimity today? Begin by observing your reactions to life's small challenges. When something doesn't go as planned, pause and take a deep breath. Instead of immediately reacting, ask yourself, how can I approach this with balance and clarity? Over time, these small moments of mindfulness will add up, strengthening your ability to remain calm and composed in the face of larger challenges. Equanimity is the anchor that keeps you grounded amidst life's storms. It's the steady hand that guides you through uncertainty, the calm voice that reminds you to trust the ebb and flow of life. By cultivating equanimity, you create a refuge within yourself, one that no external circumstance can shake. Life is an ever-changing journey, filled with moments of joy, sorrow, triumph, and challenge. At times, it may feel like you're being tossed in a stormy sea, struggling to find your footing amidst the waves. But through the timeless teachings of Buddhism, we're reminded that peace is not the absence of storms. It's the ability to navigate them with wisdom, resilience, and grace. These 10 habits, mindfulness, gratitude, compassion, letting go, forgiveness, generosity, mindful communication, self-care, embracing imperfection, and equanimity, serve as a compass to guide us through life's complexities. They are not lofty ideals or distant goals, but practical practices that we can integrate into our daily lives. Each habit is a small step toward cultivating emotional balance, deepening our connections with others, and finding harmony within ourselves. By practicing mindfulness, we anchor ourselves in the present moment, free from the weight of regrets or worries. Through gratitude, we shift our focus from scarcity to abundance, appreciating life's richness. Compassion opens our hearts, letting us connect deeply with others, while forgiveness frees us from the chains of resentment and pain. Letting go of attachments teaches us to embrace life's impermanence, while generosity reminds us of the joy in giving. Mindful communication nurtures understanding, self-care replenishes our inner reserves, and embracing imperfection helps us find beauty in the flaws. Finally, equanimity gives us the strength to remain steady amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. These habits are not about striving for perfection or avoiding life's difficulties. They are about embracing the full spectrum of human experience with open arms and an open heart. They are about choosing to live with intention, compassion, and courage, even when life feels uncertain or overwhelming. As you reflect on these practices, remember that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, one that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. Start small. Take one habit, one moment, one breath at a time. With each step, you'll find yourself moving closer to a life of balance, peace, and fulfillment. If you found these teachings helpful, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment sharing which habit resonated with you most, and subscribe to OM Wisdom for more insights into mindfulness, Buddhism, and emotional well-being. Let's continue walking this path together, cultivating wisdom, kindness, and inner harmony. Your journey to peace and transformation begins here. Join us. Thank you for being here, and may you find balance and serenity in every step of your journey.